Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe my channel. The world knew Lena as the woman with the scarves. They were her signature. Vivid silks and soft cottons and emerald, sapphire, and ruby, always artfully wrapped around her head. They were a part of her brand, the vibrant artist in the studio at the end of the lane. A statement of style, people assumed, an extension of her bold, colorful paintings. Only Lena knew the truth. The scarves were not a statement. They were a shield. For years, a slow, relentless thinning had stolen from her what she felt was her crown of glory, her femininity, her very identity. The scarves had become her protection, a beautiful barrier between her fragile self and a world she feared would see her as less than. She wore them so constantly, so skillfully, that most people, even her close friends, had forgotten what lay beneath. The change began not with a grand decision, but with a quiet, internal shift. It started in her art. For months, her canvases had been filled with images of closed things, shuttered windows, clenched fists, buds tight against the cold. Then, almost without her realizing it, the themes began to change. A painting of a seed pushing through dark soil, another of a butterfly half emerged from its chrysalis. She was, without knowing it, preparing herself. The day of the unveiling was not marked on any calendar. There was no fanfare. It was a Tuesday, washed in the pale gold of an autumn morning. She stood before her bathroom mirror, her heart a frantic drum against her ribs. The familiar, beautiful silk scarf, today a deep violet, lay in her hands. Just for a moment, she told herself. Just for me. Her fingers, usually so steady with the brush, fumbled with the knot. She loosened the fabric, and with the soft whisper of silk, it fell away. She looked. The woman in the reflection was both familiar and a stranger. Without the frame of the scarf, her face seemed softer, her eyes larger, more vulnerable. The light from the window caught the fine, downy hair that graced her scalp, turning it into a faint halo. It was not the thick, flowing mane of her youth she saw in old photographs. It was something else entirely, something true. A tear traced the warm path down her cheek, but it was not a tear of sorrow. It was a tear of release. The shield was down, the fortress gates were open, and she found, to her astonishment, that the air outside was not cold and critical, but gentle and forgiving. She did not reach for another scarf. She did not hide. She walked from the bathroom, through her sun-dappled studio, and stood by the large front window that looked out onto the street. Her hands, bare and empty, rested at her sides. The bell above her studio door jingled an hour later. It was Mrs. Gable, a regular who came every Tuesday to admire the new paintings. She stopped short when she saw Lena. "Oh, my dear!" she exclaimed, her eyes wide. Lena's breath caught. This was the moment she had feared for a decade. But Mrs. Gable's face did not twist in pity or confusion. Instead, a slow, warm smile spurred across her features. She said, "Look, you look so free." The words were a key turning in a long, locked door. Later, when a young art student came in, she glanced at Lena's head and simply said, "I love the shape of your skull. It's so elegant. It must be a dream to paint." The world did not end. The sky did not fall. The vulnerability she had so feared did not break her. It connected her. People saw her, Lena the artist, without the filter of the beautiful, defensive scarf. That evening, she approached a fresh, blank canvas. This time, she did not paint a closed bud or a hidden seed. She painted a woman, her head bare, tilted up to a sun shower, her face a complex map of joy, sorrow, and profound peace. Around her, the scarves she had once worn were not gone. They were unfurled from her shoulders, twisting and dancing in the rain like vibrant, liberated ribbons. The piece was not about loss. It was about revelation. It was the most beautiful work she had ever created because for the first time, it was painted without any shield at all. Lena had finally unveiled her masterpiece, and in doing so, she had revealed herself.